Hello and welcome back to Buck the Trend podcast. I'm Matt Nartiv.
And I'm Steph Clutterbuck.
And we're back after a week's break, should we say?
Yes, which is entirely my fault.
No, I think we needed one. We'd gone back to back for quite a while, so it was just we'd run out of time, we'd run out of space, we were here, there and everywhere, and we just wanted a bit of time away.
Honestly, I just wanted to sit on the sofa and not have to think about how to string a sentence together. I think is where we got to, so we didn't record.
And you live recorded another podcast, so you were podcasted out, should we say?
Yeah, it was a fun weekend actually. We were in Swansea Friday and Sunday for Swansea 70.3 and then the hype beforehand. Friday was the live show with Pro Tri News and Mark Threeful, just to talk through everything we could possibly talk about for the race.
Which I think was excellent, and it was great to be there live. It was extremely hot for anyone who's been in probably Europe, but the UK anyway, especially for the last few days over the weekend. It was very, very warm.
Yeah, it was boiling. It was the first sea non-wetsuit swim, I think, in Britain ever for professionals.
Yeah, and like I say, it was in salt water, so it was it was in a
Marina.
It's not even nice enough to call them marina.
Seawater, but not the sea.
When I think of marina, I think of something quite nice, but I call it a dock. But no, lovely weekend. Weather was fantastic for the race. I mean, it could have potentially been pouring with rain, windy, but it was. I mean, I think it brought the crowds out, which was fantastic. It kind of showcased the support, especially in that part of Wales, is very, very big. There's a lot. I mean, you go to Ironman Tenby. And now 70.3 Swansea, there's always a huge crowd there, and it was fantastic to see. And I heard so many people come off the course and say, "Wow, like the spectators on the bike course was fantastic, like throughout the Gower and everywhere." So it wasn't just the sort of town centre, which you tend to get for a lot of Ironmans.
No, for sure. And there was some also like animal support out on course.
Yeah, the sheep, the cows, the horses,
everything. So Wales was just showing up and showing how much it loves triathlon.
So yeah, overall great weekend, and like I say, some fantastic results, some fantastic racing throughout.
There really was. It was close on the men's, and then on the women's. I mean, biggest shout out to Rebecca Anderbury for really what was just a phenomenal race to come in second, and. Yeah. She had a storming Danny Kleiser coming at her from behind, and she held a nerve and ran brilliantly after an absolutely astounding bike.
Yeah, and I think it's a result that's been coming, isn't it? So,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, we've spoken about it previously. We've said there is one in there, and it's going to come at some point. So it was fantastic to see, and I think what I was disappointed to see, which I thought we were going to get, was like you say, Danielle Kleiser was coming charging through, and she did overtake. Who did you overtake?
Anne Reichman.
Anne Reichman in the last sort of kilometre, but I would have loved a sprint down the finish.
So the tracker was predicting all three of them at the same time, which was would have been excellent, because you've got a 3-way sprint finish, and the finish in Swansea is like you run straight for ages, like actually ages, and then it takes you right, and then you have a load of corners. So you can just imagine them going shoulder to shoulder to shoulder after only running in a straight line for like 6k, and then having to navigate corners with jelly leg. I mean, drama would have been excellent.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made. I mean, the red carpet is never the easiest thing to sprint on, especially with corners. But the spectator in me really wanted to see a sprint finish. I didn't care who was amongst, but just when there's a sprint for the podium, it is always just that bit more exciting.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And especially with, like I say, how crowded it was with support along probably the stretch. Probably, what would you say, 100, 200 metres worth of...
Yeah, it would have been so loud. But it was loud anyway. Lots of people were out supporting. Some great signs. Yeah,
there were a lot of great signs, mainly on the Cat Matthews side of the fence.
Yes, yeah, Matthew Rye with his every second Matthews sign.
Oh, I think he had plenty of signs.
Well, that was the one that I saw, so...
So yeah, all round good day. And like I say, we just said Cat obviously won on the female side, which is a fantastic win. Made it look fairly effortlessly, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, just super classy.
And then on the men's side, Harry Palmer, great to see him get another win in Swansea.
Yeah, so it was Harry first, Leon second, and both of them train out of Bath, which was super cool. And then Kieran Linder's third, and he's another Ventum athlete. So very popular podiums all round.
Yeah, and almost a British podium on the men's side.
Almost British, yeah. Leon's French.
He might as well be half British.
So each podium had one non-Brit.
So yeah, that was Swansea. Obviously, I don't want to say bittersweet. Difficult watching it from the sidelines. We've spoken about it. Do you want to speak anything of that or not?
Yeah, I mean, why not? We've shared everything else. Swansea, I was supposed to be racing. I was actually on the start line until I didn't pull myself off until the cardiologist said that it was myocarditis that I'd had, because I was kind of hopeful that if there was no sign of scarring or inflammation anywhere in the heart, then I could just race unfit, because we just don't like having a pro race in the UK on such a fantastic course that works with a season that I've got. It just was like, I have to do it. I really wanted to show up for a big race on home soil.
And I think as an athlete, you always live in hope. There's always that hope that you'll be fine or you'll be able to turn up and do it. And look, in hindsight, it was probably a good thing not racing unfit, because it probably would have, even if you were able to race, it probably would have been not very fun, because the result probably wouldn't have been what you wanted, and et cetera, et cetera. So in hindsight, it's always fine. But in the moment, it's always very tough.
And doesn't make it easier to be on the sidelines watching. But then the juxtaposition is I got to watch some great friends have amazing days, which and also great friends have not so amazing days, and kind of experience their highs and lows with them as well. So yeah, it was sad, gutting, devastating not to be racing. Like Matt said, is obviously the right decision. There's no chance I could have raced safely. But then I really enjoyed watching everyone do really well. But then I got really, really tired and we had to come home.
Yeah, and I think it's one to kind of reflect on and think that when you are having those bad days, or even an average day, it's still better than not racing.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be on another sideline. I've done two now.
And I don't think you really realise that until it happens to you or someone close to you or something like that, where you're able to step back and realise that, okay, maybe I didn't win today and I came 5th or 10th or whatever the result may be, but I got the best out of myself on that day, and I'm okay with that and I'm happy with that. You only really kind of realise when you can't race what impact it has not being able to. So yeah, I think we'll definitely won't take for granted as much when you're back racing, hopefully.
No, definitely not. Every start line is going to feel like a gift.
Yeah, and I think that goes for everybody, and I'm sure we've all felt that when we've been injured and we haven't been able to do what we want, whether that's training with our friends or racing. It's difficult because you want to be doing it. You don't really realise, do you? So
no, and I think it's really easy to rush back as quickly as you can as well. I mean, me, I am living that right now. I want to get going immediately, but it's definitely not necessarily the right thing to do. And then equally, like, people race and then they need downtime, but they want to immediately get back to training, or something doesn't go right and you immediately throw yourself into the next thing. And I think we've got to just like get better at stopping, reflecting, re-energizing before we go again.
I don't know why I just thought of it, but it's a story. I always think it's a bit of overlap. I always think
a bit
when I have a cold and my nose gets blocked, usually in the winter or whenever you get a cold, and I can't breathe out my nose, I really take it for granted, and then I really long for the wish for I could breathe out my nose.
I have never known anyone complain so much as Matt does when he can't breathe out his nose.
And I imagine it's pretty similar.
Is that what I'm going through at the moment?
That's what you're experiencing, in my opinion. Right,
so we have equated my myocarditis and nervous system disorder to Matt having a cold. I'm glad we got there.
No, I just mean the knowing what it feels like and knowing what it should feel like. And not being able to change anything.
Yes.
Terrible story, but
and he really does hate it when he can't breathe out his nose.
But that's just where my brain works, so
it's fine. You're allowed.
So yeah, obviously not racing Swansea. Hopefully on a start line in the near future, whether that's, I don't know, September, October, November, December.
Yeah, so we have options, but Kona is the line we're looking at next, I guess.
Yeah. And the one that excites you, and the one that has excited us from the moment we stepped into triathlon. I mean, we did. You did your first Ironman. I suppose you didn't really know what Kona was. I didn't really understand it.
Oh no, it wasn't a thing that existed.
But now you've done it. Now you've raced it, and now you've qualified as a professional. You want to give it a good go.
Yeah.
So that's the aim. I think from looking back at Training Peaks, it was 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Not that I want to
really don't
put that
on
you. But yeah, I saw it pop up, and I'm pretty sure it was 12 weeks. So
cool. No
let's count them down.
Yeah, no, let's not play that game. Yeah, let's not count down. Actually, no, not this time. That's not fun. So last time we spoke, we were like days after the diagnosis.
Yeah, it was all very still raw, and what should we say? We were shooting from the hip. It had come out very quickly, and we put a few bits out, but we didn't want to go all in. But we told most of it, all of it.
We did tell all of it.
Yeah.
Unless there's something that you.
Sorry, we kind of drip fed it over a couple of weeks, didn't we? Because we didn't have the diagnosis from day one. It was kind of like drip fed.
Yeah. So last time we talked about the postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. That is a tongue twister.
I'm glad you said that, not me.
And myocarditis, which was obviously layered on top of the ILO diagnosis that I'd had a couple of weeks previously. Like 2 weeks ago, I had no idea what was going to help and what wasn't going to help, really. Like I'd obviously started to figure out a little bit more about POTS because we'd had that information for about 10 days, I think, by that point. We were just waiting to see if there was any underlying cardiac issues that would be causing the symptoms, but once that was kind of ruled out, then yeah, it was definitely POTS. So had done my research but was still resting from exercise. So the last 2 weeks has been a real test because I've been back on program, like I've been back on Training Peaks, and we've been trying to figure out and understand like how on earth I can train to compete as a professional athlete with a nervous system disorder that basically my body thinks it's being attacked by a lion all the time. So it's constantly under stress. And a heart that needs time to rest and a throat that doesn't like to breathe properly. So we're battling a few wars on a couple of fronts.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is holding you back. Or should we say holding Steph back? Steph's obviously an athlete, a professional athlete. She wants to get the best out of herself. She wants to train lots. But it's bringing that back, a step back, and just letting the body recover, doing what it needs to, and knowing when it's the right time to rest. And I think that's, for us, is the understanding of what is training tired and what is your body actually tired from, whether it's POTS or what, that we need to sort of take a step back.
Sorry, I've got a tickle in my throat. Yeah, so I think my primary focus over the last 2 weeks has been figuring out what's POTS tired and what's training tired, because alongside both those things, I'm then figuring out like what is a POTS increase in heart rate and what is like I'm fatigued, in like changing in the heart rate, or a potentially illness thing, because I can wake up in the morning, especially at the moment because it's been hot. So dehydration is number one trigger for POTS symptoms. Like if you are dehydrated, you're going to have a bad day, basically. So number one piece of advice is always drink a lot of fluids and have a lot of sodium. When it's hot overnight, we obviously sweat a lot and we can't take on any fluids because we're asleep. So I'm waking up in the morning quite dehydrated, and I have been waking up with a resting heart rate of like 55 to 60. But an hour and a half later, after drinking like 2 litres, I'm not joking, 2 litres of fluid, probably like 1,500 milligrams of sodium, maybe up to 2,000, my resting heart rate will drop back to the low 40s. and my HRV will go back up again, whereas it's been low on waking. And previously I'd try and wake up and start training because like I've got stuff to do and there is a day that needs to be filled because it's already full. And I'd be training and it would be terrible, and I would be running and my heart rate would be so high and my RPE would be so low, and I'd be like, how on earth am I this unfit? But I've actually been flipping it and running later in the day. And there are a couple of things that I do before, but with the like one of them being by the evening I'm really well hydrated. My heart rate could be 20 beats lower for the same speed on the treadmill. So it's like it's super objective because it's a speed on a treadmill that I run at, and I could have a 15 to 20 beat discrepancy. You don't get 15 to 20 beats fitter in a day. Like that difference is entirely down to pots. Because also by that point I've had caffeine, whereas first thing I may not have had caffeine. So like it should even be lower in the morning, but it's not.
Yeah, it's almost like waking. I know it's not just waking your body up, but it is almost that sort of getting your body back into sort of the wake up flow state, almost of like you're rehydrated again. You're woken up from whatever it is, because it clearly is when you wake up there's something. And we found that obviously swimming has been a big
swimming has been mind-blowingly game-changing, and I don't think I really noticed it before. So number one, my POT symptoms have gotten worse with myocarditis, which is really typical. Like that's actually quite normal, and thank you so much to everyone that's reached out that has also had a similar diagnosis that has also kind of noticed it getting worse with myocarditis or pericarditis or another virus that's kind of hit. So it's definitely something that's a case for me. My symptoms have been getting more extreme over the last like 18 months, but the last 2 months has been like insanely different. I'm also not sure I noticed the positive benefit of swimming because I was only swimming like 3 times a week before. So I would just put those days down to like good days of training, and then the other days down to like less good days of training.
But also not all your swims, now you're a full-time athlete, now all of those swims weren't first thing in the morning. Sometimes they were after a run, they were after a bike, they were in the middle of the day. Never usually in the evening, but sometimes a bit later in the day.
Yeah, so we have like before diagnosis is before, and then after diagnosis is after. Before, my swim time is 10:30 in the morning or 11:30, maybe a little bit later, but it's kind of that starting at mid-morning. So typically I'd try and wake up and train before, get one of my 3 sessions done first, then swim, and then do third session. And the pattern was session 1 would be bad, session 2 would be a swim and it would be fine, session 3 would be better. And it's only really now that I understand there is a pattern and I'm swimming every day that objectively my body is better after I swim than what before. So before I swim, I typically get headaches and I feel nauseous. I find it hard to eat. My resting heart rate is higher. My HRV is lower. And I get dizzy when I stand up. And then afterwards, it's almost like the swims just reset my nervous system back to a baseline. And it functions totally normally again. And I can just go about my day as if I'm like completely fine.
Well, luckily for you, you do triathlon, and swimming is one of the sports.
And it's also the first thing in a triathlon.
It is the first thing.
But last week I think I swam 6 days. This week is going to be 6 or 7, which is great. So, yeah, they obviously don't necessarily all need to be training sessions, but just being in water, because the P is postural, orthostatic is lying down. So like, I think it's lying down. It's either lying down or standing up. Can't remember. But regardless, lying down is when my body is good. Exercising is really good for POTS, but a lot of exercising is standing up. So if you can exercise lying down, like a reclining bike or swimming, it's really, really good for you.
Does the Ironman say? Isn't there like a quote which is like run, walk, or crawl? Across the line?
Maybe I have to crawl.
So maybe you just have to crawl it.
I'm going to get really good at crawling a marathon.
Here's one. Could you run, like a gorilla or a monkey or something on all fours?
God, can you imagine? You'd have to wear something on your hands.
But would that be allowed? I mean, surely not, 'cause it's just slower anyway. But
Yeah, hey Iron Man, could you bear crawl?
I wonder if there's someone who could. There must be people who've like can run quickly on all fours.
Probably, but your arms would have to carry so much weight, and a marathon is such a long time.
Especially after a swim.
So you'd probably be doing it. I mean, animals can run quicker than we can. So if you were really efficient, maybe you could get quicker than running.
I mean, this is me posing one of these silly questions again, and someone's actually probably going to find the right information for me, just like the hill
climb. Oh
climbing
yeah,
world
thanks
championships.
for everyone for sending in the stair climbing stuff. That was so fun.
We had a lot of those, and I've been practicing on our stairs at home. So
Oh, have you? You
yeah.
gonna take it on?
No, I've decided one flight of stairs is enough.
You don't want to do the hundreds or whatever it was.
So yeah, maybe you could practice on all fours.
No. Yeah. I mean, yes, I absolutely could. I would really like to not need to do that. Like, very much so. It's the one way you can guarantee making the race stream.
Yeah.
And get some good coverage, but I would really rather not have to crawl or bear crawl or run on all fours or whatever it is. Maybe I will need to on the hill up out the energy lab by that point. But yeah, hopefully not. So I'm currently, my training is 3 days on, 1 day off. And that day off, like, it might be a short swim or a mobility session. And if if it is a full day off, then the first thing on the first day back, so the first thing on day one of the cycle, has to be a swim, no compromises. Because I tried not to do it. I tried to do something else on the first day, and it was pointless. It was absolutely awful. My body was just not able to regulate itself in the slightest. So we figured, why bother fighting what feels good?
Yeah. Yeah, and amongst the training and rest as well, we've been able to speak to and work with a lot of very sort of exciting people. That sounds. Subject matter experts who've really helped sort of along the way, really, and whether we're still exploring a few different paths with those, but they've been really useful and helpful. Sort of.
Yeah, so a couple of things we're doing. Continue monitoring my blood glucose, just like with a little patch on the back of my arm.
If anyone remembers the Super Sapiens,
yes,
they were huge at one point in triathlon. I think they went bust.
So it's not Super Sapiens.
No, but it's the same sort of
same tech.
It's just like a diabetic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be for those that are diabetic. But something that can happen with POTS is like a slightly dysregulated blood glucose, like not necessarily hypo or hyper, but just not quite right. And obviously, with the amount that I will be putting my body through, I really want to understand what my patterns are and also which foods are positively accepted by my body and which ones aren't. Because something else is like the amount that you eat. It's recommended to eat like smaller meals more frequently rather than 3 big meals in a day. So like essentially continually snacking, just to like, I guess, help it. I need to stop referring to my body as it, but help my body maintain itself a little bit better and reduce the stress on the nervous system. So if I'm asking it to do one less thing, it should calm down a little bit. And the reduction in intensity of exercise also means that we've been able to focus in so hard on my breathing, because I can just nose breathe all of the time and then be very intentional when I am mouth breathing, because I'm not feeling like I'm being forced to make sure that it is my diaphragm moving and not my shoulders, and I'm taking big, deep, slow breaths, and encouraging my nervous system to like calm down because I've got enough oxygen and it's all totally fine. So biggest strides with that have been swimming. Like I'm swimming so well at the moment, which is really nice because I need something. So swimming's going really well. And then running. Like this evening, had a really good run. I actually had a double run day today.
Yeah, and funny
Which is so
enough,
fun.
the second run was better than the first.
Yeah, so this is hilarious. I went for an outside run first, and it's actually my first outside run since the week before Hamburg. So since the week...
1st of June.
Yeah, I didn't run outside on the 1st of June, so the end of May.
Yeah, but the Hamburg was 1st of June.
Yeah, Hamburg was 1st of June. First outside run since the end of May. And it was so awful. I really enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed being outside. But it was really humid this morning. I'm also today was due to start my menstrual cycle. So, that means that my heart rate is elevated anyway. And my core body temperature is up. So I'm just warm. And we know that part of the nervous system stuff is my body can't cope when it's warm. So you kind of chuckle that in, and the fact it's humid, and it was first thing and I hadn't swum yet. I was running along, I was like, I have no control over what my heart rate is doing whatsoever. So I was very much doing run walk just to kind of keep control of it. And I got home and Matt was like, how was your run? I was like, oh, it was absolutely terrible, but I was kind of expecting it to be, so it's fine. I don't mind so much. And then went for a swim. Had a really good swim, and then came home and we had some other little bits to do. Went and picked up my bike from the bike shop, got on the treadmill for a lever run just because we want to make sure that I'm keeping my foot speed up, because if I'm running without support, I could be running at 5:45s to try and keep my heart rate down. This morning was much slower than that and my heart rate was still not staying down, but typically it's kind of been running at that 5:45 to 5:50, which is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but we're trying to make sure that I don't just plod. So we've been running at faster speeds with the lever to keep my heart rate down, but keep my leg speed up. And it was the fastest I've been able to get the lever with a heart rate that was 150, which was super cool. So yeah, I literally had 2 fans on me, and I had the Omnius headband, and also compression stuff works really well. So I had the leather shorts on, which are really tight around the quads, and also compression socks, and I felt like a superhero.
You look like one as well.
Yeah, big back. Oh, and I had my nose strip on too.
You're just missing your cape.
I do, yeah, maybe I needed a cape. So yeah, that was quite fun. But it is very much session by session. It's not even day by day, because I can flip so quickly how I'm feeling.
Yeah, and I think from the outside, from what I've seen, it's that ability to sort of understand your body, and not just understand your body sort of day by day, but also hour by hour, and how you're feeling. If you're too tired, you need to rest.
But it's a weird tired, because I can feel it. I can feel the difference between I'm normal tired and then I'm nervous system tired.
Yeah, and it's being able to differentiate that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think when I look, I think I can see it actually. When I look in the mirror, I can see nervous system tired, because I feel like that's when, out of nowhere, I'll get absolutely enormous rings under my eyes, big black bags, and cheeks look really gaunt, and I look a bit more like a walking corpse. Whereas normal tired, I'm just oh yeah, legs are a bit heavy, feel like I could have a sleep. Whereas nervous is we went for a barbecue, and I was like a baby. I got in the car
and slept,
and I just fell asleep straight away.
Yeah, and I think we can. Well, I'd like to anyway. It's just for you to throw in a few more naps, and I think especially as we get into a bit more training and a bit more, like I say, focused training.
Yeah, we'll get there for sure.
Then we can sort of plan it in, time it in.
Yeah.
So even if you just have 30-minute nap or something.
Honestly, I think 5 minutes would be fine. I've spoken to other people that have this or similar, and they've just been honestly, the act of closing your eyes is enough to just almost because it's not, the tired is different. It's not I need a sleep. It's almost I need to press a reset button.
Yeah, I think it's
go off and on again.
Being able to just shut down, I think, and just shut off from phones, life, stress.
Because I've found the hardest days, the days that tax me the most, are not the ones where I'm training. It's the ones where I actually have a lot of work to do. So I tend to be sitting stationary for a long time. And then things my feet really swell when I do that. So hence the compression stuff is really good. And then I get like massive brain fog, and I can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered to train because I feel tired. I'm just like, oh, I'm so tired. I just can't be bothered. You know, it's just like the worst thing in the world. I don't want to do it. Whereas that's just not the case at all. Like, I'm really not that tired physically, but like internally, I just need to like lie and close my eyes for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, I'm fixed again. I'm ready to go. But it's not. I'm getting to the end of training days where I've been able to be active in a super controlled way. I'm getting to the end, and I'm like, I actually feel quite good. Like, I feel like I'm ready for a sleep, but I know that when I'm training, I'm also not spending much time standing up, and I am actually very good about my recovery, because when I'm not exercising, I'm lying down. Whereas on the days where I'm doing less exercise, I'm like, okay, right, I'm going to go food shopping, and I'm going to go do this, and I'm going to go do this, because I've got time. And none of those things are particularly taxing, but they're all sat upright or stood upright, which are, who knew, really hard. But we're getting there.
Yeah. So moving into next sort of phase, obviously the aim is to get back into some more structured sort of training. You've been given the go ahead to potentially move into some more tempo work soon, along with then hopefully we'll have another MRI scan to just check that everything has completely cleared, and then that's sort of the go to get back into hopefully your normal on that side of things. So these next few weeks we'll look to sort of move into a different phase of training.
Yeah, I think I've seen this week as well, but the last 2 previous weeks as like a build. So like proper going like crawl before you can walk, walk before you can run type job. Like super low key, no stress, turning off the mind, like not worrying about myself as an athlete. It's the wrong thing to say, but being very flexible with myself. So for example, I had 2 rest days on the trot, Saturday, Sunday, because we were in Swansea. So Saturday was supposed to be a rest day based on like the pattern of training, 2 days on, 1 day off, or 3 days on, 1 day off. I can't remember what I was at then. But Swansea was going to be a big day on my feet. So I wanted that as a rest day as well. So 2 rest days on the trot. So it's kind of like yes, I am an athlete. I will always be an athlete, but just like not thinking of myself as an athlete and giving myself a bit of flexibility. And then I've got 1 more week of that sort of mindset where if I can't hit a training session, I mean, it's fine anyway, but actually it just being fine. Because it might be that it's actually, I've got other stuff going on and it's too stressful to try and fit in. And then from Monday next week onwards, I am an athlete building towards the World Championships. And that first training block is very much foundational. So if we've been, like, at the moment, I'm gathering the tools. And then from Monday next week, I'm laying the foundations. Then we'll have a rescan at the beginning of September. And then that like final 6-week build in is going to be where we're constructing a house. And we don't know how big that house is going to be.
Might be a shed.
Could be a shed.
Could be a mansion.
It could be a mansion. And we will only really know that on Saturday the 11th of October, how big we've managed to build the house before the World Championships. And that's kind of how I'm thinking about it, so that I don't stress too much about what sessions I am or I'm not hitting. I took myself off Strava for a bit because I can't be bothered with the act of naming sessions when I'm like, I don't even know what to call this. Like, I don't know what to say. I barely know what to say to myself about this. So I've just not uploaded.
And like I say, you said you like naming your Strava sessions. You like adding photos and comment.
I like telling stories.
And I think when you have bad sessions and you're constantly in sort of a negative cycle of it, it can be difficult to keep doing that. So you will be back, but for now, you're just keeping your headspace clear of that.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like one less thing that I need to worry about. So yeah, the kind of basically all through August is going to be this like foundation laying phase where I just want to make sure that as much as much about, it should be anyway, but it's as much about recovery as it is about training, and understanding exactly what it is that my body needs, so that when we get to this intense block of training through September, I'm going to be asking a lot from my body. I also by that point will know what I need to give back to it, because it is different. Like, if I look at the cycle that we got in before, number one, I was hydrated, but nowhere near enough for POTS. Like, I kid you not, I must be drinking 10 to 12 litres of fluid a day and consuming definitely 10,000 milligrams of salt, if not more. I was not touching that. Like, I was probably at maybe 6. So I've like doubled my fluid intake. Also, wasn't swimming a lot. Also, when I was tired, I would just rest and not do anything. But now I know that doesn't actually help. It doesn't really help me. I mean, it helps me recover from training, sure, but it doesn't actually help me feel better and get rid of that like oppressive fatigue that I was experiencing, because that wasn't training fatigue that I had. It was this other stuff, and now I know that, I'm going to know when my body's telling me something, I'm going to know what it's saying, which is exciting.
Yeah.
And we're going to play around with diet and foods and just really make sure that I'm getting in the nutrients that I need at the right time. More protein heavy diet, slightly fewer carbs, still making sure the calories are going in. Relying less on gels and training. That's going to be fun. It's a logistical nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just knowing when, isn't it?
Well, and how to carry it. Like, I'm going to be taking a lot of flapjacks on cycles. It'll be fun. Hopefully they won't melt in my pocket. Okay, so I think we need to go into the what the bucket moment of the week, because I'm like so excited about this one.
Go on then, hit me.
Okay, so I want to give my what the buck moment this week to Chloe Norton-Lamb, who is a friend and is also one of my wonderful athletes that I work with. She raced Ironman Victoria Gasteiz over the weekend, and I hope she won't mind me saying that she finished the race and she was disappointed. It was a super tough day. I think it was one of those days where we've all had it. Your body just didn't show up in the way that you wanted it to. And we'd spoken a lot before the race around like respecting the distance, respecting what your body's got, and accepting the challenge, whatever that looks like. And I think in those moments where your body doesn't show up, it is always easier to pull the plug. But she didn't. She decided that no, finishing was the only outcome that she would accept from that day. And she did. And then just like was like, oh, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm going to go to slot allocation because it's always a bit of fun, and why not? She got a Kona slot. Chloe got a Kona slot. She goes to the World Championships, which is just so exciting. And I always say Kona chooses you. You don't choose to go to Kona. And I think that day was challenging for a reason, and it was Kona checking that she was ready to go. And she sure as hell was.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about trying to get the best out of yourself, even on the bad days. And I think that kind of just showcases that. So well done, Chloe.
Great job, Chloe.
We'll see you in Kona.
Yeah, we will. We will see you in Kona for a big party in Hawaii. I'm so excited.
And also, great race. We've both raced it. You've raced it multiple times now. It's tough. It's not a flat bike course, but it's not hilly. It's just rolling in with one hill, probably I'd say. And then it's a difficult run. There's a lot of twists, a lot of turns. There's a lot of heat. So yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Chloe.
And
I mean, I know the what the buck moment is probably more of an achievement for qualifying for Kona, but
yeah, I think it's
you can have both.
Yeah, we'll give it for the qualifying for Kona.
For sure.
But interestingly, the new age group qualifying system is in place for
half distances,
male and female.
Yeah, half distances.
Is it not for full yet?
No.
Okay.
So half distances started last weekend, I think, and then fulls start after the qualifying window ends, which is middle of August.
See, I just thought they'd thrown it across all of it.
No. They're letting this cycle work through.
Okay. Yeah, I was just interested to see how it changed from the. Obviously, we didn't go to the slot down allocation, but
No, and I think it'll be something that will kind of play out over the next couple of years, to be honest.
yeah. But if someone was at Swansea, because it would have had it there, or there've been a couple other 7.3 since, haven't they?
Yeah, let us know how it worked.
Yeah, because we've looked into it and we've chatted about it, like everybody pretty much has. But how has the slot allocation been for the new system? So maybe it's just the 70.3s that Steph's suggesting for now. But it'd be really interesting to hear your thoughts on it. Good idea, bad idea, what's working. I don't think we'll really know properly for a while, but
I think it could be years. 70.3 is slightly different. Full distances, it'll be a good couple of years.
yeah. But give us your thoughts.
Please do.
So I think let's end it there. And
Yeah.
Thanks again for listening. And if you've got any more What the Buck moments, send them across. I don't think we've had any this week, maybe? I didn't see any come in.
No, don't think so.
So yeah, send them across.
Please do. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.